How do people from the Netherlands live abroad in New York? How do they live and work in the city that never sleeps? That's the question to which this NLClubNYC podcast will give you the answers. Here are your hosts, Eric and Mark.
Yes, we're live from the Sumagundi. No Mark today, just Eric, but luckily we have Patrick, we have Marius, and we have Monique. Welcome, all three, and welcome. So again, we're in the Sumagundi. We're downstairs in the club again. So you might hear some Dutch music in the background. You might see some people play pool or snooker or whatever they're playing, and the table is filled with Heineken and Bitterball. And how else? How much better can we get it, right?
Perfect.
So welcome. On my left side, Patrick. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Patrick Dunstey, living in New York now for 8 years again. Lived here in 2001 and 2002 as well. In between, I lived in Shanghai, so away from Netherlands for a while.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I'm visiting the club, right, to keep touch with my Dutch roots.
Yes.
And I'm also a board member here of the Netherlands Club. And that's about it.
And you guys just had the board meeting
Yeah, the board
upstairs?
meeting,
That's
why
you're
come down for a beer.
Yeah, of
And
course.
to meet other Dutch people.
Of course. When you're here, why not stay? Marius, welcome.
Yeah.
Also a board
Thank
member,
you.
right?
I'm a board member
Yes.
as well. Marius Younger-Hans. I've been in New York for 20 plus years now. Since 2001. My parents are originally from the Netherlands, but I'm born and raised in Southern California, in Pasadena. But I have a strong affinity for everything Dutch, and I still have a lot of Dutch connections. I spoke Dutch at home growing up, and still have many relatives in the Netherlands. So it's exciting to be part of the club and part of the board. It's just, for me, a way to connect to my Dutch heritage. And there's a lot of Dutch people in New York City. So it's a fun place to be a part of the club.
Yeah. So have you ever lived in the Netherlands?
Off and on. So my father did some work in the Netherlands. So when we were younger, he had several projects. He was an engineer. He's retired now. We had several projects where we had to live in the Netherlands for periods of time. So I've lived there for off and on when I was younger, and I try to visit as much as I can. So
I see. Oh, perfect. And Monique?
Yeah, I have been living in the United States for about 31 years now.
Wow.
I've never had the opportunity to actually be a New York City resident. I have lived in Florida, New Jersey, Wisconsin, back to New Jersey, also spent some time in Texas. But and now I'm actually living in Pennsylvania, but close enough to,
Drive in.
1.5 hours.
perfect.
And I had a perfect drive through the Holland Tunnel today, so no complaints here.
And you said it was a pretty quick drive.
It was.
How long is the drive?
It was 1.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
That really is from home to the parking garage around the corner.
Door to door, that's really not bad.
Yeah.
So you lived in so many places. Which place is your favorite?
It's interesting. We raised our kids in Wisconsin, so that definitely, has strong feelings about Wisconsin. It's as my husband always says, it's G-rated. It's like a very good state to raise your children. But I love the Northeast. So being close to New York, it's my favorite city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I love living in this area.
Yeah. So you had two Dutch parents. So your kids, you say kids?
Well,
Multiple?
they're not kids anymore. They are 26 and 25 right now.
Okay. But
Yes.
so we just met prior to when we went live. But so you have an American husband. So do your kids speak Dutch and English?
Yes, I always spoke Dutch to my children, and because it was very unnatural for me to speak English to them, because I just was raised as a Dutch citizen and spoke Dutch. So for me to, when I was with my children, it came very naturally to me to just speak Dutch.
Yeah. Can you relate?
Yeah, so Both my parents spoke Dutch. They're both from the Netherlands. They got married, moved to the United States, thought they would stay for a couple of years. They moved permanently. So we always spoke Dutch growing up at home. So it was natural for me to learn it. We've had friends who had mixed Dutch, Dutch and American parents, and they didn't learn it as well. My Dutch is certainly not perfect. Far from it. My grammar is very off. Whenever I go to the Netherlands, I try to speak Dutch everywhere I go, and everyone kind of looks at me like, "Oh, you're Dutch." So he speaks Dutch with like an American accent. It's a little off, but I try to practice as much as I can. So, but it definitely helps when both parents were speaking Dutch at home, because I never learned it. We just spoke it growing up.
Yeah. So you pretty much had no choice.
No choice.
So Patrick, you've seen a lot of the world. What brought you to New York?
It's actually my wife. I met her in Shanghai, and she's studying at that time in Columbia University. So she graduated, and then she found a job. And I said I was already here in 2001, 2002. So then in 2014, I was able to get back to my former employer and just rejoin them here. And since then, I'm here. And then we married. She was not my wife when she left Shanghai, and I stayed over there. But now she is, and we living in New York City on the Upper West Side.
Nice. So is she American?
She's Chinese, actually.
She's Chinese.
And we met each other at the German party in Shanghai.
Okay.
And we speak English because my Chinese is not good enough. And
But do you speak Chinese?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, wow.
And her parents obviously don't speak much English, so and we try to do it with Google Translate and my limited Chinese. So we don't have to speak German or Dutch either at home, basically. I speak it here.
But that's nice, right? Just to come to the NL Club, speak a little Dutch, keep it up, or just exactly. So you lived in multiple places in the world. Do you live in New York City?
I live in New York City on the Upper West Side. Yes. But different stages in life, maybe different places are good. But New York is still good. And I was just talking to Marius as well. During COVID, people went out, but now the magnet is still there. I think everybody wants to be here in New York still, and it's crazy if you live in the weekends now. If you walk on the Upper West Side, all the stores, the restaurants are back. And things. So it's really nice, and it's basically the city as it was before. And
it's busy.
And it's, and in comparison to Shanghai, New York is just more diverse, right? Shanghai is just Chinese. And this makes New York unique. It's diverse, and it's just amazing how people live together in this metropole and island.
Definitely. One of the things I love about the city. So you two are both members of the board of the NL Club. Can you tell us a little about what does the board do for us as members or volunteers? Or
you want to start?
You can start. Yeah.
Simple mission of the board is to grow the exposure, to grow the membership, to grow the club. So we're always looking for new ways to bring new people in, bring new members in. How do you bring new members in? Make things exciting. Bring in new events. If it's music, if it's art, if it's culture, we're really working to try and bring some excitement and bring some new life and some new ideas. So we gather frequently. That's what we brainstorm about, and so that's what the team is really working on. I think we have a pretty good schedule for this year on new events, and so we've had some great events so far, and we've got some new ideas that we're working on. So it's all about bringing excitement and bringing new people in.
So I mean, last week we had the one and only Joep van Hek. You said you were unfortunate you had to miss it.
Unfortunately, it was sold out by the time.
It went so fast. You guys were here?
I was here.
Did you see it? What do you think?
I saw him like 30 years ago when I lived in the Netherlands. I think called Intelligentia or so. So when he was young, and I have lots of CDs. I had to tell my Chinese wife that I went to this guy that have all those CDs. Tell me how old I am as well, right? Nobody has CDs anymore. But this is the guy, and he's coming, so I definitely have to go. And he was just as great as he's ever been. And then I didn't meet him in person, but I heard that there was some after party type of thing. I was talking to him, and that he's pretty down to earth and very nice guy as well. That's what I heard. So, but I think the members were pretty happy to upstairs was it?
Yeah.
The what is it? The performance there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was a great show. So I had the privilege to meet him beforehand. We had a little chat. And you're right, he's very down to earth. And I've seen him like that must have been like 10 years ago in The Hague, actually, in the Kleine Pepijn, a very small theater. And it was actually one of his tryouts where I through my network got invited. So he's actually having the papers in his hand and he's just still reading. He's still trying the different jokes. If it works,
See which one works or not.
Right.
Yes.
So this was the first time I actually saw one of his shows that was not a tryout. So but that was a great event. Absolutely. We had other very, very cool events. Can you tell us a little bit, what are you guys currently working on? What can we expect for the rest of the year?
So we do know that we have the normal event like the King's Day, the Haring Party, the Herring Party. And then we always have every year Feest. And this year, because the club is 120 years old or young, we try to do something special with Feest. We're still trying to see if there's a nice act.
Yeah.
Not a youth van but maybe more a music act or a performer from the Netherlands coming over. We cannot disclose yet what's going to happen, but that's a good thing. We have a good general manager who is really connected to the crowd in the Netherlands, which is very nice, and that's how we are able to get those people here, and they really want to be here with us and perform for our club, which is very nice to see. But yeah, all the credits to Catherine, I would say. Our general manager. Other than that, there's more performances coming from Dutch artists. I'm not sure allowed to disclose yet, and we'll let that to Catherine whether she want to say who's next. But
check the website frequently, and we'll email updates.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Monique, any requests? I mean, now that we're here with the board of the NL Club, I mean,
for any Dutch artist.
I mean, what are the things you've been
Paul de Leeuw has always been,
Paul de
that
Leeuw.
would be
Oh.
really great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see kind of two board members kind of looking at each other.
Maybe.
So
Wait, are
who
we-
knows? Who knows?
Was that
make sure you're not too late next time.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you've been living here for so long, what do you miss the most?
You know what? Het Bruine Café.
Oh,
Can I say that in Dutch?
Mhm.
I was just de gezelligheid. But it's the first thing I do. I was actually sharing this today with a friend of mine when I was telling her where I was going. I said, it's like we're going to have bitterballen and Heineken. And I said, the first thing I do, I fly home and I take a little nappy. And then my mother and I go downtown together to Het Brands Café in Tilburg. My mother, I'm obviously a girl from Brabant. And then we have our bitterballen and just a freshly tapped brand. And those are the two things, just the outside cafes and all that atmosphere and that ambiance.
Yeah. But how are these, by the way? How are the bitterballen?
I haven't had a chance.
Try
I didn't
it.
want to smack on.
No. Go.
Go
for it.
I know.
Go for it.
I'm
Go for it.
definitely-
Yeah.
I'm gonna try
Because I mean, honestly, they're good. And the chef here, I'm just gonna do some PR, for the Samagundi Club. The chef here, he makes them like all by himself. This is not frozen shipment from the Netherlands. These are home house handmade, I mean, they're good, right? They're really good. So
I just had one, followed by a little sip of Heineken. And they're excellent.
that's a great combination, right?
Yes.
I think Catherine tried to teach the chef here how to make them.
Really?
So I feel like they are getting better every single time.
Every time,
Yes.
yeah. Because one of the first times I was here, that must have been like I think it was just a little over a year ago. We had the tasting, so the chef made 3 different variants.
The members had to choose the.
Yeah, exactly. So was this the favorite? You
I think
think?
so. Yeah, I think
this-
so.
this
I
must
think
have
they
been,
are
right?
getting better every time.
I think they
Practice makes perfect.
absolutely. So
Vegetarian ones too, but I don't think they're very popular.
yeah, I don't think that's a hit here. I mean, so what is if you would say so you've been raised by Dutch parents? What's the Dutch part in you?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's just part of who I am. I've felt a connection to the Netherlands. Again, all my family's still there. I go back as often as I can. I still have a Dutch passport, which I'm very proud of.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's my connection to my family at home. So I don't get to see them very often because it's obviously tough to go. Yeah, but just it's always been a part of me, and I speak the language not perfectly, but it's just a way for me to connect with where I grew up and how I grew up.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And Patrick, how's that for you? So you're Dutch. You're living in the U.S. With a Chinese woman.
Yeah.
So like how's the triangle,
The triangle,
of
okay.
nationalities or cultures? How does that?
I used
how
to
does
go
it come
back
together?
every year at least once, but
Mhm.
so my parents passed away and I don't have any siblings. I don't have to be there, so I have a cousin,
No reason
and
to.
she is a flight attendant. So when she comes here, I meet her,
Oh,
and she
okay.
brings the hagelslag and the drop
Nice.
from Netherlands. She always calls me, "Do you need anything?"
Yeah,
So that's my supply.
Can I order some cheese?
Cheese you can get here, right?
Okay,
At
okay.
Zeebars at
Oh, really?
West. So
Oh,
you have
okay.
even the Kamijnenkaas.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So no worries. But for the drop and the hagelslag, and my wife likes the pannenkoeken mix. I told them, right, and the hagelslag. So that's for her, and I take the drop.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it. And I may go back again this year to see friends and stuff, but there's no really need for me to be back.
Ye-
I still do vote. I just put my ballot in
Of course.
for the not
Yep.
for the Eerste Kamer.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
put that in yesterday because I want to still be part of that. But just in case I'm deciding to go back, then at least have done my duty. But
Yeah.
no need for me to
Yeah.
be there now. But yeah, friends and some family. That's it.
Yeah.
So-
but no, I mean, do you still feel like that
Connected.
Dutch connection or?
I do Dutch. I feel Dutch. I still have my passport. I want to give that up.
Yeah,
No.
no.
It's also a plan B, maybe for retirement, because the medical bills here maybe not so great. So it's always a.
It's a good option.
It's a good
Good
place.
option to-
Yeah.
But for now, it's better to be here. There's a reason why you left the Netherlands too, right?
Yep.
We discussed that earlier. I think that it's all good. Or when I left, it was all good. Maybe it's a little bit not as good now anymore. What I hear from the television shows, there's a couple of things going on. But maybe I still good. People didn't have to do much and still have a good life, which is nice. But if you want to do a little bit more and just see the world and stuff, then you have to fly out, right? And then see where you end up. But
Yeah.
still, it's a good country. And when I'm back, it's always nice to be back and get to the cafe and see your friends.
Yeah.
And just, I always say, last week we had here was sunshine and out of the wind that is warm. In the Netherlands, everybody will sit outside, right? And they get
Exactly.
their
The
beer
second
here.
the sun is out, we all we all start complaining
You'll
how
never
hot it
miss.
is.
You want to do that here, but
Yeah. Yeah. So is it US for the long haul or
that's still the plan. Yeah, but you never know
you never
where I
know,
end
of
up.
course.
Because I'm already here now for 8 years.
Yeah.
Who knows where the next stop is? But for now, we're planning to stay here.
Yeah.
So connect with the Dutch in our
Absolutely.
club and then see what's happening. But
Yep.
so far, so good, and we enjoy it here.
Yeah, perfect. So, Marius, we just Patrick mentioned like the vote for the Eerste Kamer, so one of the Senate.
Yeah.
Do you have a Dutch passport?
I do.
You-
So I got the email to vote. was going to talk to Patrick
Uh-huh.
about it. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. Obviously, understand Dutch culture. I have not been very involved or very focused on Dutch politics. So I have not voted. I think I can vote. I have to double check
You
that.
have to hurry though.
There's enough to worry about in American politics.
I cannot vote here because I don't have an American passport. I have a green
Yeah.
card, so I'm not a
So
citizen.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I got the email actually from, I think it was the NL. No, it was the consulate.
It came for the
From
to
the
NL
club.
Yeah, there was a link to the.
consulate. Yeah.
Yep.
So I need to discuss this with Patrick, and but it's something definitely I would think about. When's the last time you can vote?
You can drop it at
End
the
of this
consulate
week?
today for the last time.
I think you have
Otherwise,
to drop it today. Yeah, today
All right.
was the
or
day.
send it to The Hague by airmail.
All right.
It has to be
Next
very. It has to go
week,
very
the
fast.
15th.
I have-
15th.
I
It
have
has to
to-
be there the
I have-
15th.
Yeah.
I have to do some homework this weekend.
Oh, well.
Tonight.
Well, yeah.
It's okay.
So speaking of enough to do about in American politics, Monique, so do you have? Do you still have Dutch? You've been here for 31 years, married to U.S.
Yes, but I decided I stayed an American citizen and then
Uh-huh.
only became a Dutch citizen in 2003 when the government allowed dual citizenship.
Okay.
So I did that very quickly, immediately,
Yeah.
because we were waiting for that.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So
I didn't want to give up my Dutch citizenship.
yeah, exactly. So you have a dual citizenship,
Dual citizenship.
2 passports.
And the kids both have a Dutch passport.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so, and they'll have to just make sure they renew it.
Yeah.
Every 10 years. Yeah.
Every 10 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a good reason for a trip to the Netherlands, right? Or can you?
You
also...
can do it here in New York,
You
but
can do it
they
here in New
are.
York.
There's like certain cities that you used to be able to do it, and
Uh-huh.
I don't think you can do it in Chicago. And with a certain, so.
You have to be in a city
Yeah,
with
have
a consulate or
Yes.
General.
yeah, and they have some pop-up consulates here and there now, but that's not in every city. I believe.
No.
Yeah.
It
So
might take a flight to actually renew your passport. So
Hey,
you got to
but
be pretty motivated.
then you might
to
as
keep
well
it.
just take your flight to the Netherlands and do
true.
it there, right? I
They
mean,
have these little border towns. I understand you can just renew your passport pretty quickly.
yeah, just in just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. So originally from the south, where were your parents originally from?
My mother is originally from Nijmegen,
Oh yeah,
and my father is from Alkmaar.
from Alkmaar. So
Alkmaar,
the
excuse
north
me.
and the north and the far east. Well, not
Far
that far
east.
east. Where are you from originally?
I'm from The Hague. But
Oh, you're from the hill. So am I. So am I originally. So so no geen heimwee. No
no, not really.
to the Hague.
I adapt very quickly to the environment where I live in, I would say. But,
Yeah,
but The Hague is unique, I would say. Too,
I think
because
so
it's
too.
a small
I think so too.
city next to the coast, right?
Yep.
Scheveningen and stuff. So
Yep.
it's different. I like it still.
Has it all? Yeah, me too. All right, well, thank you all very much for this amazing conversation. Next week we're gonna be next month we're gonna be back with our new episode, and hopefully we can tell more about the program that's coming up. Let's hope for Paul de Leeuw, because I love
Yes.
Paul de Leeuw as well.
Yes.
Think he's amazing. So
Yes.
I mean, and if that's not Paul de Leeuw, let's try Paul de Leeuw for next year. Let's
Stay tuned.
let's get some inspiration there. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great to be a part of it.
Yeah, this was.
How do people from the Netherlands live abroad in New York? How do they live and work in the city that never sleeps? That's the question to which this NL Club NYC podcast will give you the answers. Here are your hosts, Eric and Mark.